Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing me to, and for joining me as I deep dive into the recent headlines and see exactly if I can uncover for you whether CNN is really in as big a trouble as they say they are. Now, the media landscape is, of course, constantly evolving, and one of the most iconic news outlets ever, CNN, has been facing significant challenges in recent times, making its current struggles a topic of, well, considerable interest and debate. Now, in the fractured, fractious landscape of contemporary media where legacy outlets cling desperately to relevance, the decline of CNN and MSDNC serves as an instructive tutorial, a tale of ideological overreach meeting economic reality. It's not merely that these networks are experiencing turbulence, it's that their self-inflicted wounds are deep and their capacity for recovery is at best uncertain. I say impossible. And meanwhile, Fox News surges ahead, buoyed by its clear sense of mission, its alignment with the prevailing conservative zeitgeist, and its capacity to develop and adapt to a shifting media environment. January 2025 marked the lowest rated month in history for both CNN and MSDNC in the highly coveted 25 to 54 demo, a statistic that should terrify executives at both networks, and I believe it has. This demo is vital to advertisers, given its substantial spending power of this particular group and the influence over public discourse and chatter. But the numbers speak volumes. CNN averaged a measly, a paltry 80,000 viewers during daytime programming and 118,000 during prime time, while MSDNC mustered an even worse, more anemic 45,000 viewers during the day and 63,000 in the evening. Now, by contrast, Fox News enjoyed its best January on record, continuing an astonishing 23-year reign as the most watched cable news network. Now, let me say cable news, and that's for another topic we'll get to. But its primetime lineup alone attracted an average 2.8 million viewers, nearly quadruple the combined totals of its radical left squalid competitors. Now, the roots, the taproot, so to speak, of this disparity are not difficult to discern and interpret and figure out. Fox News, despite its detractors, has remained disciplined and focused in its approach. It understands the audience, that's you. An audience that has grown weary of the sanctimonious, moralizing, and alarmist narratives that characterize so much of what passes for news on CNN and MSDNC, where these networks have doubled down on progressive orthodoxy and anti-Trump. Fox has embraced a broad conservative coalition and a consistent coalition that includes populists and traditionalists and libertarians and the whole shebang. It's also a formula that works because it speaks to the real concerns of real people and not to the abstractions and the academic dogma and the pap and the crap of these coastal elite. CNN, on the other hand, finds itself adrift, floating alone. Once the gold standard for breaking news, it's become a caricature of its former self. A network more interested in virtue signaling than journalism or whatever it is, consistent journalism. The exodus of high-profile talent underscores this reality. Jim Acosta, say what you want, once the face of CNN's combative coverage of President Trump, recently departed after being demoted to a graveyard time slot he deemed beneath him. And he was right. His dramatic on-air farewell included a plea to hold on to the truth. But the irony was lost to no one. Acosta's brand of journalism, more performance art and crybaby than reporting, was emblematic and typical of CNN's pivot away from substance and towards spectacle. Chris Wallace, another prominent departure, one of the most boring people of all time, by the way, cited both a substantial pay cut and a fundamental shift in the network's priorities as reasons for leaving. Wallace, who once was lured away from Fox News with the promise of editorial freedom and a substantial salary, found himself marginalized as CNN struggled to redefine its schizoid personality and identity. And then Don Lemon, as our good friend Tucker calls him, long a fixture at the network, was unceremoniously shown the door and given a copy of the home day game after 17 years. A move that Donny Boy described as shocking, but to outside observers seemed inevitable. His on-air persona had become a joke, a liability, a reminder of CNN's flaming descent into partisan diatribes. Did I say flaming? I didn't mean that. You know what I mean. Now, at the heart of CNN struggles is Mark Thompson. This is the network's new CEO and former head of both the BBC and the New York Times. Now, Thompson is brought in to stabilize a ship listing dangerously after the disastrous tenure of Chris Licht, who had overseen a period of layoffs and declining ratings and failed ventures like CNN Plus. Remember that disaster? Thompson's mandate, at least what he says, is clear. Cost cuts, pivot to digital, and rehabilitate the brand. Good luck, buckaroo. But whether these efforts will bear fruit remains an open question. You see, the network's digital strategy, which includes plans for some kind of subscription-based lifestyle platform or some God knows what, strikes many as a desperate attempt to replicate the success of outlets like the New York Times, whose digital transformation was built on investigative journalism and cultural commentary, not Instagram-ready wellness content or whatever the hell this nonsense is. The failure, the colossal collapse of CNN Plus serves as a cautionary tale. Remember, it was launched with great fanfare and a $100 million investment. The streaming service was shuttered within weeks of its debut after Warner Brothers Discovery took control of the network. I think that was Zaslav, wasn't it? Its collapse revealed not only poor strategic planning, but also a fundamental misreading and misunderstanding of audience demands. Cable news audiences are not looking for niche content. They want timely, reliable reporting on issues that matter. And CNN's, inability to deliver on this front was really affected. It costed dearly. In fact, it's just boring. I'll make it even simpler. MSDNC fares no better. Its decision to bring Rachel Maddow back to a 5-night-a-week schedule, wow, and imagine that, in a bid to halt declining ratings, has proven ineffective. Rachel, once the network's marquee star, can no longer mask the broader structural problems plaguing MSDNC. The network's viewership in the 25 to 54 demo has declined 41% in primetime and 65% overall since the election. And attempts to rebrand it and inject new energy have fallen flat. It's hemorrhaging viewers. And the reasons for this exodus are manifold, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. But ultimately, it boils down to credibility and interest, or a lack of interest, or a lack of credibility, or something. When audiences perceive a network is no longer interested in truth and is more interested in pushing some kind of an agenda than in reporting the facts, they tune out. Look, Fox News, despite whatever the accusations are of bias, has maintained credibility with its core audience because it never deviates. It understands the distinction between opinion and news, sort of. Programs like Tucker and The Five, before they got rid of Tucker, thrived because they offered commentary that resonates with viewers. While the network's viewers and the network's news continues to deliver what many people believe to be reliable reporting. Fox dominates, and that's further bolstered by its ability to attract advertisers. The 25 to 54 demo, which drives ad revenue, has flocked to the network in droves. In January, Fox captured more than 70%, 70 of cable news' primetime audience in this key demo, while CNN and MSNBC languished in the low double digits. This incredible dominance extends beyond primetime, with Fox commanding nearly 50% of the total day audience across all demos. And the implications, my friends, are clear. Advertisers will follow the eyeballs, follow the ears, follow the hearts, the souls. And right now, those eyeballs are glued to Fox. And more importantly, Fox's success is not limited to cable. Its digital presence continues to grow. Online platforms, streaming services that complement its broadcast offerings. In contrast, CNN and MSDNC remain tethered and connected to these outmoded models of content delivery or something. Their absolute failure to adapt to the digital age is emblematic, my friends, of a broader failure of vision. While Fox embraces innovation, its rivals cling to legacy structures and outdated assumptions. Perhaps, this is interesting, perhaps most telling is a reaction of network executives to these developments. Rather than acknowledge their failures and recalibrate, they've doubled down on the same strategies that led to their decline. SpinCo CEO Mark Lazarus, who oversees MSDNC, did you know that? Recently expressed a desire to incorporate more conservative voices into the network's programming. This is a tacit admission by saying, we screwed up. Its current lineup, they say, is not resonating with significant portions of the audience. But such efforts seem at best half-hearted or insincere and unlikely to succeed. Viewers can smell pandering a mile away. It's beautiful. Meanwhile, whether you like it or not, Fox News continues to refine its approach. Jesse Waters, who took over the 8 p.m. slot after Tucker, I'm not a big fan, but he's embraced his role with enthusiasm, delivering ratings that validate the network's decision to elevate him, which is fine. And the key to Fox's success lies not in any single personality, I think, but in its institutional Roger Ailes-like understanding of its audience. It's a network that knows what it is and, more importantly, what it's not. As CNN and MSDNC navigate their respective crises, they would do well to remember that trust once lost and audience once lost and coolness and hipness and likeness once lost is hard to regain. Their decline is not an inevitability, but a consequence of choices they made. They weren't paying attention. Choices driven by an ideological commitment that has alienated much of their potential audience. Fox News is doing just well. Just perfect, my friend. That's all I want to say. And I'm not the biggest Fox News fan. You got it? Good. So thank you so much. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about CNN's future and their failures in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other videos for my analyses on the media and the challenges facing major news outlets. And understand, too, I would so appreciate your subscriptions and your following and your comments. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. And comment as you see fit.